saying sort of thank you for taking time out to chat with me. I suppose, how did your journey with drag start? How did you fall in love with the art form?
Yeah, really good question. The year was 2007, which was quite a long time ago, actually. And I was an usher at the theatre. So in New Zealand, we have a company called Auckland Live, and they have sort of the big theatres in Auckland. And one's the Civic, and I was an usher there. And the way New Zealand works, because we're a small country, is that we'll get maybe 2 big musicals a year. So the first big musical I worked on and ushered on was the Australian musical Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And it was the first time I'd seen drag queens, and I loved the way the audience responded to them, and they just loved them, and there was such energy and such love on the stage that I decided to dress in drag for our staff Christmas party. It's very tough. There are some tragic photos that exists at the time, but I really enjoyed being it. So after that, I contacted our local gay bar, which is called Family, in Auckland, and started my career basically. Just started off doing like 1 show a month, 1 show every 2 months, and I'd always be pestering them, can I do another one? And then just got more and more and more, and I entered into the more corporate drag scene in New Zealand, which is quite big. And then several years later, and I'm still 21, so I don't know how it works.
Obviously, most people recognise you from Drag Race Down Under.
Yes.
So, how was the experience being on the first season of Down Under?
Yeah, you know, I'm so grateful that I got to be on the first season because the other ones were terrible. But being on the first season was really good because I think when something's new, it's always very exciting. So, from a career point of view, very lucky because that one seemed to have got the biggest following. So, ironically, so then there was season 2 and season 3 after me, and I was just looking curious about Instagram followers and seeing how the levels have kind of dropped off. So I think even though the seasons are still great, the following isn't as big. So being able to be one of the first Kiwis, the first New Zealanders on the show, was really special.
And you also obviously really enjoyed it because then you went back for Versus the World.
I did.
How was that experience of Versus the World different to Down Under?
It was so different, but Down Under felt like we were all new and fresh, and we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't. It was great, and it was just a competition to find the best who from Down Under, whoever it was. Whereas Canada Versus the World was about finding all these amazing drag performers, and they want to find the global superstar. And that was interesting for me because I didn't feel like not that I didn't fit into that environment, but at that point I hadn't done any international tours because of COVID. And it was a year and a half, 2 years after my initial season. Of course I really enjoyed it, but it was, for me it was a little bit tricky because it was a competition to find the next international superstar. I didn't feel like a superstar at that point because I hadn't had the experiences that Silky and Raja and others have had, but no regrets, it was so much fun.
Obviously I've got to do a little shout out for Victoria Scone.
Yes!
It was the Queen of Cardiff.
I know!
So
And she did so well!
Yeah, she did amazing, and obviously you were performed alongside her.
Queens Down Under?
Yes!
No, Touche, what is that?
Can't remember the name, but...
Keep your eyes on me. I can't. Bonjour, hi.
But yeah, so obviously just a little shout out for her, because I'm a massive fan of hers, obviously, and seeing her represent my hometown was amazing.
Yes.
So I suppose the question is, today we're obviously at Queen Shilling. What are we doing while you're here?
I'm not really sure. I thought it was for vodka. I think I've been lied to. Today, it's just a really amazing lineup of local performers, I feel. And so I'm really excited to see that because I love going to watch drag. And then I'm just doing a couple of songs and a bit of a chat at the end. And it's just sort of like a drag variety show, basically.
How have you found working with House of Cymru so far? How has it been?
Oh, is that how you say it?
House of Cymru, yes.
Oh my god, that sounds a bit naughty, doesn't it? Really good. They've looked after me so well. My first one with them, but I actually met Kiki Babs on a wild night out in Cardiff. And they did a Christmas tour here. And so that's how we got connected, and we've sort of stayed in touch ever since. And now I'm really delighted to get to see her again, and to get to share a stage and to perform.
Oh, fantastic. So I suppose my last question is, where do people stay up to date with you and follow, you know, as your career keeps skyrocketing?
I always recommend OnlyFans is the best. It's a very disappointing platform for me. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram is my main one, but Twitter and Instagram and Facebook under Anita Wigl'it, which is Wiglit, but Instagram I like to show all that I get up to and all the behind the scenes. Yeah.
Amazing. So I'll end the same way I started by just saying thank you so much. I'm very excited for the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me.